All right, let's dive deep into the latest on the Chicago Bears salary cap situation because there's been some significant movement that could impact how the team builds its roster going forward. After the offseason buzz and some well-deserved holiday downtime, the focus now shifts to understanding the financial landscape the Bears are navigating as they prepare for the upcoming season. A big piece of this puzzle revolves around Joe Thuney's contract, which recently received a 2-year extension worth $35 million. This extension is stacked on top of the 1-year deal he had left, valued at $16 million, so it's a hefty commitment from the Bears. Breaking down how this affects the salary cap, the Bears will have an $8 million cap hit for this year, which, while somewhat anticipated, has now been officially confirmed. Moving into next year, the cap hit jumps to $21.5 million, and that same figure applies for the year after as well. What's interesting is the team's option in 2027 if for any reason Joe Thuney's performance declines or if the team decides to move on, they could cut or trade him and only face a $5 million dead cap hit. This would mean a significant saving of $16.5 million against the cap. This structure is a clear indication of Ryan Poles' strategy coming together. You see a consistent approach with the contracts of the three starting interior linemen, Joe Thuney, Jonah Jackson, and Drew Dolman, all signed to similar 3-year deals starting this season, each with an opt-out option after 2026. This kind of contract design allows the Bears to maintain flexibility. They can cut or trade any of these players with minimal dead cap penalties if necessary, without being locked into expensive long-term commitments. At the same time, these deals align nicely with Caleb Williams' rookie contract, creating a financial environment where the team can build around their young quarterback while he is still on a cost-controlled rookie deal. The idea is to maximize Williams' development under the guidance of head coach Ben Johnson and the offensive staff, hopefully setting the stage for him to be the franchise quarterback for years to come. Now, when it comes to cap space, the Bears currently have roughly $15,400,000 to work with. There are small discrepancies between tracking sites, but the estimate stays close to that figure. However, it's important to note that the Bears have not yet signed their 3 second-round draft picks, Luther Burton, Ozzie Trapillo, and Shamar Turner. Once these players officially sign, the cap hits for each will reduce that available space. Burton will account for just under $2 million against the cap this year, Trapillo around $1.4 million, and Turner approximately $1.3 million. After their contracts are in place, the Bears' cap space will sit around $10,700,000. That figure is enough to make a few minor moves if the front office chooses to do so. But here's the nuance. Teams don't enter the regular season with every dollar of cap space available because they have to budget for ongoing expenses throughout the season, like paying the practice squad. Practice squad players get paid weekly, and those payments count against the salary cap. This means teams need to hold back at least $5 million, and many prefer to keep closer to $7 million available to cover any unexpected needs, such as injuries or late season trades. So while $10,700,000 sounds like a comfortable cushion, it's not an unlimited war chest. The Bears are actually on the higher end compared to other teams, which is positive, but it still means they need to be strategic about any additions. In terms of potential signings or trades, the Bears' available cap space suggests they could realistically pursue one minor move costing around $5 to $6 million against the cap. Players like Matt Judon, Von Miller, or Preston Smith likely wouldn't command more than that, making them plausible targets. On the running back front, most candidates are expected to come in even cheaper, generally in the $4 to $6 million range, which fits well with the team's financial structure. While stars like Za'Darius Smith or Jadeveon Clowney might exceed this threshold, the Bears could explore contract structures that include void years to spread out the cap hit, though that's generally not preferred because it pushes money into future years. Ryan Poles has shown he doesn't favor kicking the can down the road financially, preferring to keep things clean and manageable, especially while the team is still building toward consistent competitiveness. Given that the Bears' window to compete appears to be opening now, with Caleb Williams at quarterback and a fresh coaching staff in place, there's some room for maneuvering. If the team believes it's close to contending, they might be willing to take on some financial risk. To add a key piece now, even if that means restructuring contracts or adding void years in certain cases. However, so far, it looks like major cuts or extensions are largely behind them, and any significant cap space creation is more likely to come from contract restructures than from roster churn. Contract restructures are a common tool for teams trying to manage their salary cap efficiently. By converting base salary into signing bonuses, teams can lower the cap hit in the short term at the cost of pushing money into future years. The Saints have famously used this approach over the years to stay competitive under tight caps, and the Bears could follow a similar path if necessary. For example, restructuring a player like DJ Moore could save the team up to $15.7 million against the cap this year. Montez Sweat could yield a $13.2 million saving, Jalen Johnson around $9.9 million, and Cole Kmet about $5.9 million. However, restructuring players always comes with risk. If a player underperforms, the team is still on the hook for the deferred money in later years, which can limit future flexibility. Among these players, Jalen Johnson seems the most likely candidate for a restructure since he fits the team's long-term plans, and the Bears could benefit from nearly $10 million in cap relief. On the other hand, it seems less likely they would restructure Cole Kmet because if he has a breakout season, the team wouldn't want to be locked into his contract for too long. DJ Moore's situation is a bit trickier. The Bears might want to see how he bounces back from a down year before committing to a restructure. If they did restructure Moore, they need to be confident he remains a key piece moving forward, because pushing his cap hit into the future could backfire if younger players like Luther Burden or Roma Dune emerge and make the team reconsider their options. This brings us to the delicate balance the Bears have to maintain. Restructuring contracts can save money now, but it also extends the financial commitment, potentially limiting the team's ability to pivot quickly if certain players don't meet expectations. This is especially relevant with the new coaching staff, who might view some players differently than the previous regime. The front office has to weigh these factors carefully because a restructure essentially bets on the player's future performance and role within the team. Looking beyond restructuring, there's also been chatter about a potential trade for a pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson. His cap hit currently sits at $16 million, which is a significant number given the Bears' available space. Even without restructuring anyone, it's still technically possible for the Bears to make a move by juggling cap space and possibly negotiating an extension to lower his immediate cap hit, much like what they did with Joe Thuney. So, while acquiring Hendrickson isn't off the table, the more likely scenario is that the Bears wait until later in the season to see how their young offense shapes up before pulling the trigger on a major defensive addition. This strategy mirrors what they did with Montez Sweat a few years ago, waiting to assess the team's needs mid-season before making a splash. At the end of the day, the Bears have a moderate amount of cap flexibility but need to be judicious in how they spend it. They're positioned to make at least one meaningful addition, whether through a minor signing or a trade, but large, expensive contracts seem unlikely at this point. The approach reflects a team still in the early stages of a rebuild, prioritizing smart financial moves and patience as they develop their core players, especially around Caleb Williams and the new coaching staff. This is a pivotal offseason for Chicago, as the decisions made now will set the tone for the coming years. The salary cap situation is complicated but manageable, and the team's leadership appears committed to building a sustainable foundation rather than chasing quick fixes. There's a clear emphasis on flexibility, maximizing young talent, and being strategic with financial commitments, all of which bode well for a franchise eager to return to relevance in the National Football League. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are spreading rapidly across the NFL landscape, and one of the league's most shocking potential moves is capturing the attention of fans and analysts alike. Rumor has it that Nick Bosa, the star defensive end known for his relentless pressure and game-changing plays, may be on the verge of leaving the San Francisco 49ers to sign with the Chicago Bears. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the buzz is impossible to ignore. Bosa has been a cornerstone of the 49ers defense since being drafted, turning heads with his explosive speed, strength, and ability to disrupt offenses. His presence on the field has been a major reason for the 49ers' recent successes, and losing him would be a seismic shift in the NFL's defensive hierarchy. But the speculation surrounding his potential departure suggests that the Bears, who have been aggressively rebuilding their roster and defense, could be ready to make a splash this offseason by securing one of the league's premier pass rushers. They can need it. Bears have struggled to find consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks in recent years, making a player of Bosa's caliber a tantalizing prospect. Adding him to their defensive line would instantly elevate their game, providing not just sacks but also leadership and experience in a locker room hungry to return to playoff contention. Fans in Chicago have every reason to be excited about the possibility of Bosa donning the navy and orange, especially with the team looking to reinvigorate its identity. Meanwhile, the 49ers organization remains tight-lipped, fueling even more speculation. Could it be a financial move? Or perhaps Bosa's desire for a fresh start in a different city? Contract negotiations, team dynamics, or personal preferences may all be factors in this swirling rumor. Whatever the case, this potential signing is being watched closely, with insiders suggesting that talks between the Bears and Bosa's camp have been more than preliminary. If this deal comes to fruition, it would mark a significant shift in power on the defensive side of the ball in the NFL. Chicago would gain a top-tier defensive end capable of changing the outcome of games, while San Francisco would face the challenge of filling the void left by one of its brightest stars. Fans from both coasts are bracing for what could be a blockbuster move that reshapes team strategies and playoff hopes for the coming seasons. For now, all eyes remain glued to the rumor mill as the NFL offseason continues to heat up. Will Nick Bosa trade the red and gold for the navy and orange? Only time will tell, but the buzz is undeniable, and the possibility alone has set the sports world abuzz. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.